So, thanks again, guys, for joining me. This is the Cats of Jamas casting the SC Reddit Open. Round of 16 matches. This is the rubber match, the third game of the best of 3 set here between our Protoss player, purple Protoss player here at the 3 o'clock position on the scrap station. He is REQSlaineD. His opponent here at the 12 o'clock position is our red Terran player, Adebisi. Now, Adebisi took game 1 on Lost Temple in a pretty convincing macro-oriented match. His opponent, REQSlaineD, came back on Shakura's Plateau with a very interesting and cool build, which was DT Rush with Observers to warp some units directly into his opponent's main. And hold on, we'll talk about that in a second, because right now we've got a proxy pylon going down. REQSlaineD putting down a pylon outside of these destructible rocks. See if he drops down a forge or goes straight into just a proxy gateway. Gateway coming down! Oh yes! Oh, the cheese radar is going off. But REQSlaineD now moving into his opponent's base, looking like an ordinary scout. Of course, as soon as an SCV moves out for Adebisi, his game will be revealed. That gateway's about 40% of the way done. Apparently, as a backstory, SCRO did this once in the last Open. And he does see the gateway, so how is he going to react to this? His barracks is only about a third of the way done at this point. The gateway, however, is about 15 seconds away. And it appears as though SCRO... Now, actually, SCRO had gone ahead and put the gateway behind the pylon. I don't think it would have been seen. But first gateway done, he is going to try and Chrono Boost out a Zealot here very quickly. Well, there's the Chrono Boost. Producing some more probes all the time as well. Second barracks coming up for Adebisi. He's foregoing his orbital command. Knows he needs to allocate his resources into more units. He does have the barracks, so there's the bunker coming down as well. And Adebisi is going to go ahead and produce as many Marines as he can. But here comes the first Zealot. Zealot moving in now. Let's see how many SCVs he's going to take down. He's going to immediately kill one. He's going to get not really... This is actually really good placement. REQSlaineD is going to be forced to walk all the way around. By that time, there's already going to be Marines up, and the bunker is already finished. So now what does REQSlaineD do? He does have multiple Zealots, but due to this positioning, not really able to do a lot of damage. Going to try and go around to the back. Ooh, doing a nice job of actually focus firing down this barracks. He's going to force Adebisi to either pick that up or, ooh, actually forcing those units to go back into the range of the bunker. REQSlaineD is putting up a cybernetics core outside of his base. And those Zealots are not really able to close anymore. Adebisi actually moving up with his Marines, going to pick off that Zealot. There it goes. One Zealot goes down, and the Marines immediately retreat back to the bunker. So REQSlaineD kind of in a precarious position. He is going to have a little bit more damage done to him. Adebisi showing very nice control here. Focus firing down those Zealots. He's going to have a ton of units up here soon. Already is producing one gas as well. We'll be able to transition in tech if he so desires. Stalker now being brought out to go ahead and do some ranged attack. Warp gate technology on the way. Adebisi is going to move back. And he is going to be forced to retreat back almost all the way to that bunker. So Tech Lab coming down now for some Marauders and upgrades. Here comes the Stalker one more time. Adebisi doing some good damage. He does... Oh, wow, he actually just closed that... Oh, God, he just salvaged that bunker. And this mule isn't doing anything. So now these units are exposed. If REQSlaineD has an opportunity, this is going to be it. One Marine goes down. Second Marine falls as well. Zealots being brought in now. One Zealot going to be focus fired down. And Adebisi actually losing quite a few units now. SCV's being pulled to go ahead and surround these units, but there are a couple of Stalkers up. They are going to focus fire down these Marines very quickly. Adebisi now struggling to get up a couple more units. One Marauder almost done. All the rest of the Marines almost killed. But the Stalker's going to go down as well. Well, let's take a look at the units tab once. Oh, actually, another Stalker coming in. He's going to have to run away, though, because that Marauder's going to focus fire him down. No concussive shells up yet, though, so he is running away. So SCRO going ahead and running back. No, he's going to stand in there. Concussive shells is now done. There's no way that Stalker can get away. So now this gateway and this pylon is going to go down. Take a look back at SCRO's base. He has 2 more gateways coming up, so he's going to be on 3 gate with an assimilator here very soon. Adebisi already on 2 barracks, though. 3 barracks, as a matter of fact. And this gateway is going to fall. Army tab shows us Adebisi is quite ahead in terms of army. He is slightly up in terms of workers, but with his mules, his economy will look a lot better, of course. And yet more gateways coming up. Actually, those are turning into warp gates at this moment, as that technology is done. Probe throwing down a pylon here. Still closing off that walk distance quite a bit, but Adebisi is going to run right through the destructible rocks. He's pretty confident in his army at this point. And Adebisi is now expanding. So 3 racks into an expand. These destructible rocks are going down. Adebisi now with a pretty good force. Joining all of these here, he is going for stim pack, which is a little more than halfway done. Another proxy pylon going down for SCRO. He has 3 gates producing all the time. Take a look at that army one more time. SCRO is actually caught up in terms of army now. So he is even in terms of army, but he is down. Let's take a look at the units tab. Down in workers by only 1, so he's actually not in a terrible position. What's really going to matter is if he fails to neutralize that expansion. If Adebisi can sit on that expansion for a little while, he's going to gain a huge advantage. So now SCRO moving out. Oh my god, he doesn't even know these destructible rocks are almost down. So Adebisi moving in. His stim pack's just about to finish. And looks like he is now going to pull back. So REQSlaineD sitting there with his stalkers. Adebisi about ready to move in. He does see all those stalkers. There's the stim. Force fields going down. Nice force fields. And Adebisi not going to be able to fire on a lot of these units. Well, why is REQSlaineD moving his hurt units forward? So more force fields going down. And Adebisi is probably going to stim one more time here in a second, taking down a number of those units. Look at all these hurt sentries just going down. He's going to have to target fire down the Zealot here in just a second. And Adebisi is going to retreat back. He did rally a few more units forward. Looks like he's going to send those in as a mini little strike force here. Oh, I love saying strike force. And Adebisi does stim in, picks off 1 probe. Now going to come up and try and take out a couple of pylons. So Zealot being taken out. No, actually just moving straight into the economy line. Taking out a number of probes. Going to need to take out this Zealot here in a second. But mostly, here comes REQSlaineD with a big force now. Adebisi not stimming. Being very patient. Force field does trap one of those Marauders. And SCRO is going to move over here to this next expansion. That's going to have to cancel the orbital command and move up. REQSlaineD was forced to bring back a couple of Zealots, but he is going to drive off this force. 1 Zealot still up with a little bit of health. And REQSlaineD actually pulling back from that attack now. So REQSlaineD does have a definite advantage in terms of army. He's down by 5 workers, though, but he is putting up his Nexus, so he'll be able to catch up in terms of workers here pretty quickly. But, of course, Adebisi is going to be able to drop down 2-3 mules at a time once he saves up enough energy. So, REQSlaineD now gathering up all of his forces. See if he decides to make a big push here in a second. His forces aren't all that upgraded, however. No forge in sight, still operating only on 3 gates. Now the 4th gate coming in. Transfer of probes going into the natural. I have selected the Automaton 2000. And Adebisi just continuing to grow his force, producing 6 Marines at a time. And researching +1 upgrades. He also has a starport coming up as well. So Adebisi now moving out. He is going to see this big force. Stim goes down. Not great force fields. A few of those Zealots going down without even taking a shot. But Adebisi, of course, was forced to stim and loses a lot of permanent damage on his units. However, we are going to see a couple of medevacs here in a second. SCV is now transferring down to the natural. And a couple more refineries coming onto the field of play as well. So REQSlaineD does have up his next Nexus. He is now tied in workers. But he is back in army. Well, no. Truth be told, he's actually about even on army. Both these players are really, really close. Mostly going to come down to micro at this point. Scouting factory is now scouting. So yes, indeed. We do have not much more production coming in now. Adebisi looks like he's saving up his money for some medevacs, I would assume, here in a bit. Nice pylon on the low ground there. And an SCV making its way around. I don't know if it saw that pylon or not. Oh, but the scouting factory is getting in and getting target fired down by these stalkers. Scouting factory sees all. Adebisi does take down that pylon. Ooh, actually kills the 2 units that were attempting to warp in. Scouting factory does see the 4-gate robo. Ooh, warp prism actually on the way. But is Adebisi going to be proactive and just decide to move out? 3 bunkers in play as well. He doesn't really have a lot up to defend against a drop of any kind. Medevacs making their way out onto the field of play. Adebisi about to move out. His +1 infantry weapons just finishes right now. He does have 1 SCV just kind of taking a look at what's going on here. Ballsy SCV. And so Adebisi, stem's in, but wasted stem. He's now going to have to run over here to the expansion and take that out, but that medevac has its work cut out for it, just going ahead and trying its best to heal up these units. That was a lot of wasted life. So now REQSlaineD has lost his expansion. He's almost mined out his main. He does not have another expansion anywhere else. Let's see if that Warp Prism ever made it out. It did! Warp Prism made it in! A couple of Zealots in Adebisi's base. Adebisi transferred over his SCVs. Oh my god, there was actually a double SCV drop. I'm sorry, a double Zealot drop, and now Adebisi is only down to 16 workers. Adebisi does LOL. He's bringing in some more Zealots now. It's going to be a lot of workers dead. And somehow, someway, REQSlaineD is finding its way back into the game. So Adebisi is going to be forced to all in here in a second, I believe. So REQSlaineD, let's take a look at the economy. REQSlaineD up 29 workers to 11 at this point. He is going ahead. REQSlaineD is putting up a couple of Colossus at this point, researching Thermal Lance as well. He is sitting pretty on a bunch of resources. But so finally he's putting up his next Nexus. And I think that Adebisi is just going to bring everything. Garrett comes, producing as many SCVs as he can. His force is quite superior. But Adebisi is going to basically need to kill his opponent in one shot here. Because if he doesn't, if this gets held off, he will just not be able to produce at a quick enough rate. Adebisi now moving over to this expansion. That's going to be forced to be canceled. Hopefully REQSlaineD sees that. I don't think he did. Alright. So REQSlaineD was taking down those destructible debris, but there's the Guardian Shield, and REQSlaineD is going to move in. Stim comes in. Force field's not really doing a lot. And the Immortals are getting target fired down. But these Colossus have done so much damage that it may not matter. Adebisi still up a lot in terms of army. Destructible debris now go down. I don't think there's any other sort of drop going into Adebisi's base. No. He is down by only 11 workers at this point. And starting to run back to his base. So REQSlaineD is completely held on one base. He only has, let's do a quick little bit of math, 400, 500, 650. He only has 750 minerals left to mine, and he is done. So he's putting up another Nexus. Could have saved himself 400 minerals if he would have canceled. So, REQSlaineD sitting back now with a good number of Colossi. His army is creeping up in size. Adebisi, because of the fact that he actually has a base he can mine from, is actually better economically, despite the fact that he was down to only like 10 workers. So REQSlaineD not on any upgraded forces. Adebisi hasn't put any more money into upgrades of his own, so no +1 armor. So I can observer making its way over to see all it can see. Gonna fly directly into a missile turret, however. Nice job there by SCRO to pull it away. And we have a little bit of posturing going on. REQSlaineD now transferring down his probes into his opponent's base, as he has a grand total of 100 minerals left to mine out of his main. So, let's take a look here. Both players still kind of standing apart. Adebisi's the only one really producing at this point because he's the only one who's had money for a while. And he is going to move out and I think around the Zelnaga Tower. See if he spots the pylon or not on the way. No, it looks like both players are actually gearing up to meet each other here in the middle. Hopefully REQSlaineD doesn't take apart his forces. Adebisi does have up enough Vikings, though, to quickly take down those Colossus. There's the Guardian Shield. There's the Force Fields. And one Colossus goes down. The second Colossus is going to fall down here in just 1 second. And Adebisi doing a pretty good job. Target fires down the Immortal. There go down the rest of the units. And REQSlaineD losing everything he's warping in as well. Adebisi will probably land those Vikings here in a bit, but it doesn't matter. REQSlaineD does GG. Adebisi moving on to the quarterfinals of the SC Reddit Open.